Okay, we're going to start by setting up our course weights and our term weights for the year. You'll only have to do this once. As long as you do it all right now, you won't have to then go back and change anything. We'll set up everything for all of your classes and all of your terms. So we're going to start by logging into our Powerschool. From here, you want to go to your Power Teacher Pro. You should be brought to a blank screen that looks something like this. We're going to go over to the settings icon and then click on traditional grade calculations. From here, you should see all of the classes that you teach pop right up. It's going to put you into homeroom to start. You don't have to set up your homeroom course weight, so we can actually minimize this. But you want to pick one of your other classes. So I'll pick my Information Technology 12, and I'll just expand this course. So what you should see right off the bat is we have F1. Remember, this is our entire reporting term for the year. This is our weights for how we want our terms to weight out. And then we have T1, 2, and 3. These are the individual terms in which us as teachers can put in how we want to grade our students, whether it be by tests, quizzes, projects, assignments, whatever. And then we have M1 and M2, where we have our mid-year and our final exam weight. So we're going to start by setting the entire term weight for this class. So we're going to go to our F1. If you go all the way over, we can click on the pencil. You're going to see in here it has term weighting already set for you, term 1, 2, and 3, M1 and M2. They should all be set to 30%, and then the 5 and 5, that is correct. And I have the slide deck that will pop up in the bottom corner for you to see what the term weights are for each section. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you can see highlighted in yellow that sophomore is a little bit different. We'll go into a sophomore class and change them next. But as for if you teach freshmen, juniors, and seniors, your course weights will look as follows. So you'll have the 30, 30, 30, 5, and 5. So my recommendation is go in, just check to make sure your courses that are the freshman, junior, and senior are set up with this weight. It is pushed down from the district, so it should be configured correctly, but it's nice just to double check. Now when it comes to a sophomore class, I'm going to go into my computer science because I don't teach sophomores, and I'll open up their term weighting. Theirs is going to be a little bit different. Theirs is going to be actually 33, 33, 34, and they're not going to have a mid-year M1 and M2 term within it. You're going to see M2, T1, T2, T3, M1. You can actually remove the M2 and the M1 from your sophomore class. So hit the little minus button on the M2 and then the M1. It's going to put the calculations as 30, 30, 30. This is where you can manually change them. So this is where you're going to put in 33, 33, 34. These percentages, again, are only for sophomore students. So any sophomore classes you have, this is the percentages you will set for the F1 reporting term. This is just because they don't take mid-year and final exams. So sophomores only will have this weight set up. Every other course, freshman, junior, senior, will all have the M1, T1, 2, and 3, and then the M2 as the 30, 30, 35, and 5. Okay, so I'm starting with my first class, my seniors. I set up their F1 term. I verified it was correct. Now I want to go into their T1, 2, and 3 and set up how I actually want to grade them throughout the year. So I'm going to start with the T1. Right now it says total points. If any of your terms under the T1, 2, or 3 say total points, that's an indicator that they're not configured yet. So I'm going to go all the way over to the pencil again. And this is where I can put in the categories that I grade my students with. So for us in IT, we use activities, projects, and problems as our main categories. Those are already categories that I have configured in my Powerschool setup. If you need help setting up those categories, I have another video linked here that you can click on to check that out. But I first have to change the type in which I want to do these grading categories. So I want to change it to category weighting. Then you will get a list of the categories you have already configured pop up under the attribute column. So this is where I can select activities. I can put in how much do I weight those activities. And then I can actually add more here as well. So up in that top corner, there's a little plus button. I'll again select category weighting. I'll do my projects. You'll see the percentages start to change. And I'll do category weighting. You want to make sure your percentages come out even and also up to 100%. So you can set all the categories that you have here. If you just do one category based on time card or whatever you do, all of them will pop up here, so you can select whatever you need to. When you are done, you can then hit save. You'll know it's successful because it'll say category weighting next to your term 1. Okay, so you may be an academic teacher that has multiple sections of the same class. You may be a shop teacher that we actually utilize the same grading scheme across all 4 grades. So instead of going in and having to set it up for all of these classes, I'm going to actually show you how to copy it over from one class that you have set up. So we're going to start by copying it from class to the class, in the sense of I have term 1 set up in my senior class. I want to copy this term 1 to my term 2 and my term 3. If you're wondering about the M1 and the M2, those will stay as total points, because when it comes to the mid-year and the final, we just put that single grade in, so we don't have to set different categories here. So those will stay as total points. But I want to copy this over. I'm going to go up to the top right-hand corner, up where you see that little gear, and click on that. You're going to get a pop-up that says Copy Traditional Grade Calculations. So this is where I get some options. The copy terms, how do I want to do it? Within a class to another class. I want to start with within a class. So I'm going to select the class that I want to copy from, which is my grade 12. What term is it? I have term 1 configured. What do I want to copy it to? My term 2 and my term 3. So this will take all the categories I set up in the term 1 and copy it over to my term 2 and 3. Once you select all those, you can hit validate. It'll give you some green check marks showing that it is copying those over, and then you can hit copy. You'll know it's successful because it'll then change the total points to category weights on both term 2 and 3. If you want to hit the pencil and go in and verify, you can, but once it changes to category weighting, that is the indicator it was successful. Okay, so my grade 12 class is done. Awesome. I have another class that's going to use these same weighting categories. So instead of going in and doing it all over again for this class, I'm going to go back up to that gear icon and do the Copy Traditional Grade Calculations again. Now, instead of within a class, I'm going to do to another class. And this is where we got to make some setting adjustments here. So the term, I don't want it just term 1. I want to do the whole year. So I'm going to do 26, 27. And then I'm going to pick the class that I want to copy the grading calculation setup from. So I just did the Information Technology 12, so that's what I'm going to select. Now I'm going to say, okay, what class do I want to copy it to? I'm going to pick the term, which is again 26, 27, the school year. And then I'm going to pick the class. So I'm going to copy it over to my grade 9 class. Right here. If you have multiple, you can check as many as you want. But I'm just going to do my grade 9. And then I can hit validate. You're going to see my term 1, my term 2, and my term 3, and my F1 copied over. So the only ones that didn't were the M1 and the M2, because again, those are set to total points. We did not change anything in those, but as long as you get green checks on here, you're good to go, and you can hit copy. Now if I scroll down it should expand all the classes that it did copy to. So it copied to my infotech related. I see category weighting, perfect. Again, you can hit the pencil if you want to verify, but once it changes it to those, I know that it was successful. So this is how you can set up your category weighting for all of your courses. Again, you only have to do this once and then you're done for the year. The only change with this is, again, when it comes to sophomore, you have the 33, 33, 34 as opposed to the 30, 30, 35, and 5.